main has just gone back up, and Hasu immediately coming in with the Priestess of the Moon obviously as well, and it looks like Moon's going to try and take out maybe this gold mine before TPing out, or no, it looks like he's actually going to go for the Black Citadel, and then TP back, presumably. The Frost Room here not actually doing any damage, but Hasu actually being forced to TP back. Very nice play here by Moon, and the Priestess of the Moon presumably is going to be sticking at the base, and could actually be in a bit of trouble here. Hasu not paying too much attention. It looks like a bit of a Dryad block, if not surround. No, just like a block, and he should just keep on getting that slow poison off, and try and kill this Priestess of the Moon off. He might actually not manage to do it though, just because obviously it's pretty hard to stop a hero when it wants to get away, and Moon does have this one wisp here. He could have used a block, but he doesn't quite manage to, and meanwhile the rest of SocceR's army does come out here and will manage to take out this Priestess of the Moon, and so that's very nice there for We Made Fox, because I don't think there's any way in which Thu can get that back now, because he doesn't have an altar, he doesn't have the food for oh actually yeah, he doesn't have the food, he doesn't have the altar, and so the tavern's a bit useless. We'll have to see what his plan is, and meanwhile, looks like SocceR's just gunning about with his Blade Master. Looks like he might be going to attack Hasu's base again. Obviously, Hasu's out of his base, and so there's not really, and so he should just try and do a small bit of damage while defending thoroughly his own base. And looks like a Tauren Chieftain in a bit of trouble here, getting immediately nuked, getting Quell Nova and impaled, and looks like he will go down just because sort of negative armor, couple Frost Worms. That's actually a really high damage output army, and SocceR is just in Hasu's base. There's only 140 gold left on this mine, but still it's nice to get the free kills while you can. Blade Master's still only level 3. I think Moon's at 5-4 at the moment, so that's pretty nice for him. And the Tauren Chieftain is trying to be revived, but I'm not sure if Hasu will maybe be able to kill off that altar. He looks like he's going straight for the expansion first, but I think Moon's coming back into this base as well, and Hasu might have to TP back, because if he loses his main, then it really is over. And yeah, he will have to TP back, and I think Moon should probably just TP out here and try and play the economy game, because he can now walk his expansion out. This is very bad actually for Moon. It looks like he doesn't have a TP. He does just have to walk it out. And he will lose at least a couple bears here. Obviously it's not the end of the world, but I think he will lose a couple units, and this will be pretty good for experience for Hasu, so maybe a bit of a comeback here. Destroyer a 1-0 upgrade, so yeah, I'm surprised we haven't seen more upgrades here, because obviously it is Destroyers, Fiends and Frost Worms, which is basically the entirety of Hasu's army, and it's all about focusing down units as well. And Moon will lose a couple more bears here as well, so that's pretty bad for him. Almost level 5 Death Knight now as well, and the Blade Master is pretty low health, but almost level 4 at this point. SocceR with a couple units here, just scouting out more units, and the observers are actually saying that they think it's base race time, and I completely agree at this point. I think all Moon has to do is just keep on hitting and running. Obviously he can pick up his expansion, it looks like he probably has, and yeah, it's already moved to his natural, and it looks like he will start mining soon. But Hasu immediately scouting this out with this one statue, and will come in with his hero and actually all his units as well. And I think Moon might just decide to counterattack on the base, just because obviously Tree of Eternity is pretty tricky to kill, and whereas an undead base, when there's no one there and there's no main up either, it's just not really too easy to kill. Obviously Hasu with sort of probably a food almost advantage, if not advantage itself. He is We Made Fox is about 80, Hasu is 72, sorry. So sort of not an insignificant advantage, and it looks like Moon was trying to use TP Staff, but it got cancelled by the Crypt Lord, and so Moon will be in a bit of trouble now. He will want to run these Dryads away, and that's a pretty nice just there for Hasu, obviously getting those these free kills. I'm not sure why Moon's trying to play this sort of hit and run. He does manage to kill down one ghoul, but certainly it's not worth losing a Dryad for, and maybe he's trying to stick around the altar or tavern so he can buy back his Pit Lord, but I can't imagine he is. Meanwhile, Thu and Hasu are now being revealed. Obviously, no expansion back up, and no main up either. And TP out there for SocceR. SocceR obviously has the expansion up still, and so we'll just need to and so could just keep on hitting and running basically at this point. SocceR has taken a bit of damage on some of his grunts, but really it's the raiders that are important. Hasu coming in here trying to kill off this Entangled Gold Mine. Looks like he will probably get a couple of Wisp kills if Moon can't detonate them. Moon really should be detonating these, but I guess there's a lot of things to do, and it does actually manage to get the last couple of detonates as well, and that hits the Crypt Lord, and obviously draining the Crypt Lord's mana is pretty effective. Hasu just going for the mine kill, because I think he realizes he can't get the Tree of Eternity kill. He just doesn't have the time before Moon and SocceR can come in and either attack him or attack, or more likely, really attack his main. And obviously, if that main goes down, it's GG. It looks like Moon's putting up another expansion here. He was putting up one earlier, but it looks like he's or sorry, he did have one up earlier, but it was cancelled. It looks like he's just trying to go there again, just because it's a far way away from Hasu's base, and so he knows that Hasu's gonna have to run a long way, and he can't TP back now because there's no main. And SocceR now coming in, and obviously with the Torn Chieftain, he can just get a couple shockwaves off on these buildings to try and do a bit quicker damage to them. And meanwhile, Hasu coming in, and I assume SocceR has a TP on him. Yeah, he does, and he immediately TPs out. I think SocceR realizes that sort of the damage to the building are slow, and so just staying in for those extra couple seconds isn't really worth losing, or the potential at least of losing a couple units. And Moon, meanwhile, making sure that Hasu doesn't have an expansion up. Obviously, this would be pretty disastrous, really, for him if he did, or just because it can an undead really on 100 food can be so powerful, but the only way Hasu's ever going to get there is if he can put up an expansion. Meanwhile, Moon's expansion is now up, and he's now actually has 2 mines, both of which are currently entangling, but neither of which have any wisps in them. And Hasu now scouting out this one expansion. He might decide to go there immediately, but SocceR is straight back in Hasu's base just with the Blade Master, and there's really nothing Hasu can do about this. Obviously, if Hasu just sits in his base, then WMF Factor just going to play the economy game, and if he tries to move out, then which is what he is doing, then Moon and SocceR are just going to run in with Blade Masters and armies with TP scrolls and stuff, and just be able to get out whenever they need to. And Blade Master managing to take out one Ziggurat before having to Windwalk away, and actually doesn't even run away. He just uses Windwalk and hides at the back of his base and assumes that there's no wisp there, or sorry, shade there. Meanwhile, SocceR has a OP on here. I guess he might be going for an expansion of his own. He doesn't quite have the gold for it yet, but I guess it's a possible thing for him to be doing. And Raiders coming in with a couple grunts in the Torn Chieftain as well. Torn Chieftain does have a TP scroll, but still not level 4, but very close. If you could get that level 4, obviously pretty good, because obviously Endurance Roar is amazing, really. And level 5 Death Knight now being down on this Entangled Gold Mine. I'm surprised Mouz hasn't put any wisps in it. Maybe he just hasn't been paying attention, or maybe he's been dedicating his money somewhere else. He does only have 27 gold actually, and so maybe he needs to build up a bit more gold. He does actually have wisps queued for the other Entangling Gold Mine, so a bit of interesting play there by Moon, obviously preferencing the wrong gold mine, unless he was worried about that the one with the Tree of Eternity being taken down. And meanwhile, Moon just with his Pit Lord just here, I'm not sure if he sent it there accidentally. SocceR now putting up an expansion of his own, and SocceR also in Hasu's base just looks like he'll try and take down this graveyard, and then I don't think he'll take down the boneyard before Hasu comes in, and SocceR is forced to TP away. Obviously Hasu might just want to put some focus down on these grunts just because they're easy to take down with Frost Rooms, but even then it does manage to get away with just 65 hit points. And I think that, yeah, there is a Voodoo Launch up for SocceR, so we will just be able to salve that grunt back up. And meanwhile, Moon just has his Demon Hunter just sort of hidden about, and actually getting scouted out here. He does need to use his TP scroll, TP staff, sorry, and the Crypt Lord is too far away to actually manage to get the stun on it. So the Demon Hunter stays up, and a Demon Hunter at 5.5, I think. So that's pretty nice for him, because if obviously he can get level 6, then it's definitely over here. But I think what Hasu really needs to do is he needs to split up his army. It might sound a bit crazy at this point, but I really don't see any other way he can do it. If he just leaves maybe some air units with maybe Death Knight at his base, and then sends out the rest of his fiends and stuff just to try and kill expansions and whatnot, that might actually be his best solution. But even then, I'm not sure if that would work. And I just don't see a way for Mouz to win this game. It's a bit of a shame, because they did play very well early game. Obviously, it's not too surprising that they had a sort of a huge unit count advantage, because they were going for a mass tier 1 strategy with a tier 2 push as well. But I think but unfortunately it just isn't it just sort of, that's when your advantage is, and if you can't end the game there, then often you're in a bit of trouble. And Pit Lord now staffing out before the Crypt Lord can get in and get the stun, and Blade Master just sticking about at the back of the base. Looks like he's going to try and do a bit more damage to this boneyard. Meanwhile, SocceR's expansion is now pretty close to being up, and it hasn't yet been scouted, I don't think, by Hasu. I think he is keeping a shade with his army, and I think that's probably wise at this point, because he does just want to try and catch heroes out, maybe get some quick kills, and then going for a push while the heroes are reviving. And meanwhile, Hasu now losing this boneyard. He is taking SocceR is taking some damage on his Blade Master, and he's being slowed as well. And a shade actually coming in as well, but he does have a TP, or sorry, a invuln pot if he needs it. And looks like he will just have to Windwalk away at some point. Actually, Hasu isn't bringing in any more units here, so he does just Windwalk, and the shade is obviously around, so he is continuing to take damage. He will have to TP away, hopefully, when he just walk away really at this point when he realizes that And Moon, meanwhile, getting another rain of fire off these two buildings close to each other. Obviously, it does more damage than just the Crypt Lord's normal attack, and mana isn't too big a problem at this point. And the Torrent Chieftain getting a bit caught out, Crypt Lord getting a bit caught out here, does manage to get a Crypt Lord does manage to get one Impale off, and looks like SocceR will manage to get away with all his units, although he does have to burn a TP, and Moon probably will lose this expansion. But I think Hasu's about to lose the last of his buildings, and he can't really get back in time, and so I think this is probably going to be the end of the game, which is a bit of a shame. But yeah, there's the GG there. I think that was probably quite an interesting game. Obviously, sort of some quite unusual play from both sides. It started off pretty standard, obviously, with the very standard Undead Elf versus Orc Elf games, but I think thought it really diverged in quite an interesting game. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that, folks. Please feel free to comment, rate, subscribe. Thanks.